This project is for who? It's for all of us in Southwest Washington.
Yes, yes.
And let us vote on it. And if we want it, then we'll have it. If we don't want it, then we shouldn't have it. I even had some government officials sit down with me and says, you know, if you're negative on this project might not come. And I thought, well, that might not be a bad deal. I'm not sure that my people want this project. Why don't we find out if the people want the project? Don't be concerned about what they do. I really get a feeling like they don't really want to know what we want.
No, I find that hard to believe. I tend to think that people think like I think. I trust people. I feel like most people are out there responsible people. They're raising their families. They're doing a good job. They're going to work. They're responsible. Now, there are those that are not responsible like it, but they're the minority. They're the exception. Most people, I have faith in people. And as a representative, I assume you have faith in people that they're smart enough to make basic financial decisions for themselves. If they want to find a better way to work, they can say, you can offer them, would you like to be able to have a brand new bridge, and by the way, it's going to cost this much, and it's going to, if you want that, this solution that I'm offering, it's going to cost this much in tolls. Is it in your makeup, are you the, would you give people a choice to be able to say yes or no, somehow find a way for them to let them know they're behind you, or no, they don't want to pay tolls, or no, they want to get more life out of the bridge, or build a third bridge or some other solution. Do you have faith in people?
I do, absolutely. I mean, they elected me. I better have faith in them. They were smart enough to elect me. I'd be like saying, hey, those people were dumb enough to elect me. Come on, they elected me. Give them a chance to vote. Give them a chance to voice their honest opinion on what they think on this project.
Well, we have, on the other end of the spectrum, we have a mayor here in Vancouver who, I heard him on Lars Larson, he really grilled him a little bit, asking him some questions, and he wanted to know, why are you supporting this project without a vote? Why don't you let the people vote on this? And in effect, I don't want to quote him verbatim, but as I understood it, he was thinking that the people elected me because they have faith in my judgment, and so this is something that I'm entrusted to make this decision. The problem with that is that he was elected on the other side of the issue.
Exactly.
And that he was promised to fight against tolls, which is the number one reason people don't want to go through with this project. So I'm thinking, where's the validity in that statement? There's the forthrightness is really what we're after here. That would bring health to our community. It would be so much better if we could. Now, as a state legislature representative, what can you do, or what can you advise us? So far, this is something that we haven't had a voice. There hasn't been a vote. We've been promised a vote for this November, and it looks like that's been taken off out of the possibility. We don't have a voice on this, and yet they're saying we're going to build this bridge, we're going to construction, we're going to be able to start pouring concrete.
I think the best thing we can do is continue to put pressure on our elected officials, our mayor and our county commissioners, and if you want to put pressure on me, I'll take that, and we have got to let these people let us have a vote. I mean, that's the bottom line on this. We're going to eventually have a vote, you're right, on whether or not we're going to be taxed for this. So wouldn't you think you'd want to find out how your citizens feel about the tax? Or do you just want to stick it out there and say, hey, I'm going to gamble that we're going to get this tax through? You know, I think I would want to know if I was an elected official.
Sure.
What is the climate out there? Do people really want this project?
Yes.
That can be done.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, I see all of those businesses downtown Vancouver with the plans for tearing up the street from storefront to storefront, including the sidewalks, for an extended period of time. And I'm wondering how are those businesses going to survive? And is this really, even if this was a project that it looked like it made sense to the people that are proponents, is this the time to add one more hardship to those businesses that in this economy are already having a tough time staying in business?
I think that there's, it's interesting because on the other side, they're screaming that this is the most important project that's going to create all these, that this is going to save our economy. Well, it's going to create some jobs for today, but we're going to be paying for that bridge for the rest of our lives. That once they start this project, this bridge, the light rail portion and the tolling, as the law's written now, will never go away. So in my mind, if I was the mayor, I would want to make dang sure that my people wanted this before I made a commitment for my kids and my grandkids and my great-great-grandkids. Wouldn't you want to know that?
I certainly would. My own favorite is a third bridge. I'd love to see the 192nd Avenue Bridge. 4 miles east of the 205. It's ready to go. So it's a low cost, 5% of the cost of this project. You get it built.
Well,
why can't we focus on
and
something
I have
like
some
that?
real concerns that we still have a bottleneck in Oregon that has not gone away. That if we
You're talking about the Rose Quarter.
I'm talking
where the
the Rose
5 freeway
Quarter.
next
Oh,
down
yeah.
to 2 lanes
Correct.
each way.
So we build this bridge and we funnel the traffic faster down into a bottleneck. What does that do?
It provides a really nice looking parking lot across the river.
And what's going to happen is people are going to experience that for a while, and they're going to quit paying those tolls, and they're going to go to the 205, which supposedly we hear is not going to be tolled. And why would you sit on a congested way and pay a toll?
I think they'll have plenty of time as they sit there thinking,
To
why,
think about
how
that?
did this ever happen?
Exactly right. So if I was the mayor or any elected official, and I am, I'm pleading, please, please let the people vote on this. Let them have a voice.
That would make sense. Aren't there some low-cost things we can do? For instance, we have a 3-lane bridge for much of Portland, but they turn that into a virtual 2-lane highway. We turn a 3-lane into a 2-lane by putting calling that third lane a carpool lane. And so you end up with all that traffic just backed up into 2 lanes. What in the world do they have a carpool lane in there, turning that, isn't that...
Someone needs to look at that too, you're right.
It's been there 9 years.
Yeah, what's interesting is I just saw, just on the House floor just this last week, I didn't vote, I voted against it, but there was a vote on tolling hot lanes up in Seattle, and that passed.
So they're going to, you want to go fast? If you got enough money, you can go fast.
If you got enough money, think about that. If you have enough money, you can go faster. Is that the direction we want to go? Once again, who are we serving? Are we serving the masses or not? Who is this bridge built for? Who are these roads built for?
Well, I look at the same argument of compassion that argues for giving lots of money and privileges to those people that can't work or don't, somehow they got it's just too good of a deal. That's a compassion argument. In this case, we've got an anti-compassion argument because there you are empowering those that, hey, I don't care, I got plenty of money, I'll just take the fast way. And those that are making minimum wage are they don't have that kind of money. They're stuck in traffic, but they're paying the same gas taxes. They're paying the same other taxes that built those roads in the first place. It just seems like it's not equitable.
It is not. And who the tolling is going to hit the hardest, you're right, is the low to middle income people who have to go to work every year in Oregon, or every day in Oregon, sorry, pay their 10% to Oregon and get nothing in return. One of the things that I asked for was the state of Oregon is, why don't you give some reciprocity to these people that are coming into your state, working every day, paying their 10% to you and get nothing in return. They deserve free tolls. They deserve something. Give them something back.
I would have faith in the possibility of that had we already something that would reflect that in the income tax.
Yeah.
We have 60-some thousand people in Clark County. Then they've been working for years in Oregon. Are they getting anything? That argument I expect has been made a long time ago.
David, we're the 3rd largest economy for the state of Oregon. Vancouver, Washington is the 3rd largest
and that's
economy.
Taxation without representation.
Exactly.
We don't get anything for that.
Not a thing.
There's no refund at all, right? It's like,
no.
Once it goes over, that's
it's like a gravy train, man, for those guys. They don't want to give anything back.
I was at a We the People meeting a couple weeks ago, and Mayor Tim Levitt spoke, and he pulled some numbers out of the air, and he said, $2.50. That's how much I think this toll is going to cost each way going across that bridge. And I thought, it's $2.50. Well, where'd you get that? Well, he didn't quote anything. I looked it up because the toll studies are published on the CRC website, and it goes anywhere from $2 and something up to $6.80 or 6 something each way in their studies. And okay, we pick a number out, and okay, well, so let's suppose it is 2 something each way, okay? Well, let's compare that to something. The best comparison that we have is the Tacoma Narrows Bridge.
Yep.
There they got a toll up there. They want to pay a toll. Well, they have a transponder price and they have a cash price. Well, the mayor's talking about a transponder price. You want to put money into an account, a minimum, I think it was $30, something like that, just to get it started, and buy a transponder. Then they can start taking money out and you get the transponder price. That's the $2.50. Up there, if you want to be able to, if you don't want to go through that process of setting things up, you add $1.60. And that was across the board. You add $1.60 to whatever it was. You add $1.60 each way. So in this case, if you're going to pay cash for that, which is I expect there's no toll booth, so they're going to send you a bill in the mail.
They are.
And that bill in the mail is going to have an extra $1.60 on. That's $4.10 each way that you're going to end up paying for a toll for a 3-lane through bridge before the construction, a 3-lane through bridge after the construction, to go wait at the 2 lanes at Rose Quarter in the parking lot and think about what in the world am I paying? What are they doing with my money? I'm thinking that would be.
Well, we created.
I'd be steaming.
We created some temporary jobs, is what we did, David, for the life
publicly funded jobs.
Publicly funded jobs
come from the private sector.
You and I and all of our constituents are going to pay for, I don't know for how long, a long, long time.
Well, one thing I'm a little unique in that I run a business that has been debt-free from the beginning. We don't owe anybody anything, and we grow fastest during a recession because other businesses, they don't have such a good time during a recession. They have to lay people off. And our throttle has been when people get laid off, they find us, and we have some real good people to choose from, so they join our staff. So we've grown. We've hired probably 45 people in the last 14 months here. And
Good for you.
In fact, this is the last day of a month here, which marks 18 all-time high sales records in a row for us during this economy. So we're doing very healthy. Now, I'm not saying that to brag that, we're so good. It's not. But we've adhered to a basic principle, and that is live within your means and stay debt-free as much as you can. Now, we borrowed to buy this building, but we paid this building off in a matter of about 3.5 years. So we own the building outright as well. That allowed us opportunity money. Now, we haven't just been making the same old products. We've been investing in the future all along with that opportunity money. Now, one thing that we don't do is go up to debt, to our ears in debt. And when I see our state legislature, our local government, all of this debt that's being accumulated, you can't unbear yourself from that thing.
So you want to talk budget for a minute? You want to talk budget for a minute? That sounds like where we're headed, David. Do you want to talk budget?
You want to talk about budget, don't you?
Well, I can tell that's where we're headed, and let me tell you that.
Yes, let's talk about budget.
Well, let's talk about budget.
In fact,
but are we done with CRC?
I think we probably whet our appetite a little bit. We'll have more conversations in the future.
You know, I'm afraid you're right because I don't think that thing's dead yet. But we're going to work hard to hammer some nails into that thing.
We need to diligently turn on the lights there.
Absolutely.
And citizens, just like stopping with that one bill where you wore the maroon scarf.
Yeah.
Citizen involvement.
Absolutely.
Change that. Citizen involvement here can arrive at a better solution than we have now.
Make them transparent. Like you and I, when we first started this, you said you've asked for some things, and the CRC has not been very transparent. And I think that's what we need on this part. They need to be honest with us, transparent, show us what you're doing, show us what you intend to do.
That's how you build trust.
Exactly.
That's right. So I'll tell you what, let's wrap this up for now.
Okay.
And we'll jump in, we'll for another program here, and we'll jump in and we'll talk about budget. Okay? All right. Thank you.
You bet.